So reward tracks are a really important feature for the competitive modes in Guild Wars 2 because they give you passive rewards. But how can you maximize those rewards? And what are actually the best options for the rewards? Today I will answer these questions. I'm Sirma, and without much further ado, let's jump right in. So let's start by explaining what are reward tracks. So reward tracks are a big part of the rewarding structure in competitive modes, so World vs. World and PvP. And both of them are designed in a way that you passively get rewards just by playing those game modes. In World vs. World, you have the participation. So when you have kill enemy players, you participate in any events in World vs. World, you get participation, and as soon as you have tier 6 participation reached, you get the highest amount of points for the reward track. So in PvP, you have the same. You just play PvP and you get, when you finish the match, you get reward track progress. A reward track, you can see it in the World vs. World panel in the corresponding section, or in the PvP panel in the other corresponding section here. Both of them are exactly the same. Most of them actually share the same reward tracks as well. And you can see you have normal reward tracks that just give you rewards and at the end a bigger reward. But you also have reward tracks that are a little bit special. So they are covered, for example, for dungeons. They can special expansions have it, and some living world maps have it. So there are a lot of different reward tracks, and all of them give a little bit of different rewards. But in general, they are all balanced around giving the same amount of gold. It's not exactly true, but it's quite close, or rather close. So the reward track consists of 20,000 points in both game modes, and those 20,000 points you gain over a particular period of time. And like I said, every single tick in World vs. World give you the highest amount of participation, which would be tier 6, will give you the tick, the maximum amount of points that you can get for reward check. And I will show you later how you can maximize this, but first I want to explain a little bit more what the reward tracks are, because there are a little bit some nuances to it. So there are repeatable reward tracks and there are non-repeatable reward tracks. In general, and that's a really important thing to understand, repeatable reward tracks are always worse than non-repeatable ones. Non-repeatable ones you can just do once, and then you get the reward and it's done. But therefore, those rewards are better. So that's important to understand. Furthermore, those reward tracks, all of them are actually really good, because you can get passive rewards that you would not be able to acquire otherwise. What do I mean by that? So you can, for example, go for reward tracks for dungeons, and you can go for the dungeon hunter or dungeon achievements and unlock all the weapon skins and armor skins from the dungeons without actually playing the dungeons. So you can actually get achievements from that. And I'm not talking only about dungeons, but also about skins that you get from the Living World seasons that you need, for example, for Aurora or Vision to unlock the achievements normally. But you can't just skip it. And it's really important to understand that you can just play whatever you like, World vs. World, PvP, and you get those skins passively. Or you can go for Living World currency like Winterberries and stuff. Those are all in the reward tracks, in the corresponding ones. And of course, if you are like me and you want to get the most of the current expansions, then you go always for the one that is currently the last expansion. So now you get a lot of lowland currency, for example. And what you also should not forget is that most reward tracks, not the dungeon ones, but almost all other ones, give you at the end, in the big chest, 2 mystic clovers, and therefore are a really good way to get mystic clovers, because they are actually really reliable. You know, you get them really reliable. Otherwise, you would have to gamble for them, or you would have to use the vendors. But here you get them passively, so they actually are a huge part of the value. So if you're not going for legendaries, the reward tracks get way less valuable for you. And the non-repeatable ones actually give you 7 mystic clovers. That's a lot. So just that you know. And what I also have to mention, that most of the chests, not the let's say the ones that have specified rewards, but the ones that give you random rewards, are actually all affected by Magic Find. And that means that you can just collect them and open them in one single moment where you have a lot of Magic Find, and therefore you get way higher rewards. Why is that important? it's not only important for how good the materials and stuff are that drops, but it's also really good because you will have access to ascended gear, because all of the reward tracks bonus chests have the chance of getting ascended gear, you know, so you can get rings, you get all not trinkets, but rings, and armor and weapons. That's really good for, especially for new players, to understand that you can play the other game modes as well and just get them by chance. Really good. There is some special thing about the pip system in PvP and World vs. World, because in PvP and World vs. World, you actually get those instant reward track progress. Every single, let's say, step of the pips system, it's in World vs. World the same, and it will give you instant reward progress. Previously, there were some possibilities to save them up, but nowadays most of them are instant, so you can't really get them in the inventory anymore. But be aware that you can get huge amounts of boosts when you reach special thresholds in this chest system. You know, you can see here. The same is true for World vs. World. You get the same amount of instant reward track progress. It's a little bit balanced differently, but it's still worth it to understand. Let's take a look at how you can get the fastest reward track progress that you can achieve in game. So here we are in the wiki. I will have the link in the description of the video below. So how can you modify your reward track gain? You can use the guild enhancement, which will give you up to 10% more reward track bonus for World vs. World. Then you of course have the normal experience booster. Really strong. You can get it by the candy corn gobbler or just use the experience boosters. You get 50%. Really strong. Then Blackline booster, you can buy them. I wouldn't recommend that because they are quite expensive. They cost Blackline statuettes and it's not worth it. Then Festival Gobbler, so it could either be the Snowflake Gobbler or the Saitafi Gobbler. Both of them are really strong, give you 25%. Really good. Then has just the Celebration Booster. I would always go for that. Because if you have enough characters, you can upkeep that 100%. 10%, really nice. Then World vs. World Reward Track Enrichment. That's what you put on your amulet. It's also really free. It costs just some low res, I think. 5%. And then you can get the Rested buff by putting your character in the homestead for at least 4 hours. So just put it overnight in real life time. So it's not important that you keep them there. So you just put them in overnight, and when you play, you get 8% more. And then if you have the max level, and then if you're done playing, you can put them back in there. Next day you have this 4-hour bonus as well. That's really good. So in total you can get up to 133. I would say Blackline booster I wouldn't use, so it's a little bit less, but still. And then you have the specific events that might affect it. So currently we have 2 going, but it might not happen at the time you are playing, but it's not important because you can't affect it anyways. But just be aware that there are some events like the Call of the War or extra life bonus events and anniversary boost. They give huge amounts of progress as well. So you can get really big amounts of jumps to the reward track just by playing at those times. So those are the biggest effects how you can modify your reward track gain. All other stuff is not affecting the reward track gain, so be aware of that. And now we take a look at how profitable reward tracks are and which ones you should go for if you just want to have the maximum amount of gold. So the most profitable you can see here at the Fast Farming website. They actually have a really nice profit list. Be sure to check it out, it's in the description. And you can see the most profitable ones are actually Thunderhead Peaks and End of Dragons ones. You can of course switch those up, but those are the best ones. You get 21 gold per reward track. Of course that includes the value of the Mystic Clovers. If you don't want Mystic Clovers, you have to go for something else and the value drops really rapidly. But of course you can see there are quite a amount of different reward tracks that are balanced around the 20 gold mark. Just to compare, the one-time reward tracks actually have reached up to 30 gold. But of course you can only do that once. So that's what I would recommend to do, the repeatable ones, and always go for those that you feel are most valuable to you. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.